Boy, oh boy, has Apex absolutely been turned on its head, and for good reason. It is better late than never. You guys know I have been very upset with how Apex has been the past few seasons. However, I feel like a lot of the new changes are good for the game overall, and I see this as no better time to do another guide for Rampart. I want to do an updated guide with a lot of general tips as well as kind of game sense tips involved with Rampart, since I am a top 0.1% Rampart in the game. Last time I checked, I was top 250, despite literally not playing this game almost at all for the past 2 seasons. But man, with this new season, I think I'm fully back in it. If you guys hear my dogs in the background, bear with me. But if you guys love quick and concise guides that cut out all of the fluff, you're in the right place. Don't forget to leave a like, pop a sub, and share some of your tips when it comes to Rampart in the comment section down below, because I'm obviously not going to include everything, or we're going to be here for like 30 to 45 minutes plus. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Now with Rampart, I'm going to cover her passive first. She gets extra bullets as well as a faster reload time when it comes to LMGs. Now, if you're not using LMGs as Rampart, you're literally using her, you're not using her to her full potential. Now it does depend on the meta, but I feel like the L-Star has been absolutely broken for a very long amount of time. And it's more broken than ever now. It just caught a huge buff along with all of the rest of the weapons. But in Rampart's hands, I feel like this gun reloads so fast. I'm just gonna sit here and hold it. Boom. Way quicker than most legends. Whenever I use another legend and use the L-Star, it just feels gross. It feels super slow, but with Rampart, you almost never have to reload. Even if you take like a tiny little break in between, that cooldown, you literally never have to freaking reload. And you get more bullets per mag, quote unquote, than any other legend using the L-Star. So if you're not using the L-Star or whatever meta LMG there is, you are an idiot. Sorry, I mean, that's kind of blunt, actually. That's kind of mean. We'll take that back, but you are missing out. You need to utilize LMGs a little bit more. Like, for instance, the Spitfire is not, like, insane. It's definitely good, but look at this. I have a purple mag on it. Let's check out what it is. 58 bullets in a mag. Your opponent is going to dump a mag, and you're literally going to be, like, a fifth of the way through your mag, and you're just going to be able to destroy them. Especially if you suck at aiming. Let's be honest. If you suck at aiming, you definitely need more bullets in a mag. This is the way you do it. Now, the Rampage has always kind of sucked in comparison to the rest of the LMGs, but even that is pretty nasty in Rampart's hands. So please utilize LMGs. Yes, they're not as cool as the rest of the weapons, but as a Rampart, you're gonna be balling out. With her ultimate, so we went over her passive and stuff. Her ultimate is Sheila. This is my bread and butter. This is why I love Rampart so much. I think it's what makes her broken, and she's been getting better and better with Sheila. You used to be able, I played Rampart when you had to place Sheila down and then use it. But now you can run around with this thing. It's absolutely disgusting. Now, a big misconception is that this is kind of like a Gatling gun, and you kind of use it up close and personal. You do have an alternate aiming mode as well. This is what I use for medium to long range, and I use this for up close and personal. Most people use Sheila up close and personal. I totally get why you naturally feel inclined to do that. But the strength of Sheila is right here. Medium to long ranges. It is insane. Once Sheila is like spun up, forgive me, I have not warmed up at all. But once Sheila is spun up, she is deceivingly accurate from medium to long ranges. You can use her almost like a marksman rifle or sniper rifle to get an initial knock so that your team can push in. During ranked, this is literally what my squad does. We've been playing for 4 years together, and usually we will get a knock from a sniper or Sheila, and we will push, and we'll be able to take advantage of that. So at least while you are learning Rampart, use Sheila exclusively for medium to long range engagements, and then when you get way better with her and you kind of get more game sense with when to use Sheila, then you can use it up close and personal, because there is moments where it is definitely better. But you are significantly slower with strafing when you have Sheila out. So if there's more than one person shooting at you with Sheila out, you're basically screwed. So please, like I said, While you're learning, use it exclusively medium to long ranges, and then start using her up close. Now, while we're on the subject of Sheila, one thing I think the main issue I have with other Ramparts that I encounter, let's face it, majority of them absolutely suck unless you're in ALGS. But one of the reasons other Ramparts suck, in my opinion, is this laser right here. This shoots over an entire, like, infinite distance. You will see this laser from Timbuktu, straight up. However, with these Ramparts that I encounter, they're just aiming straight at people. They're aiming where they think people are going to come. And this is a huge warning sign. You're giving the enemy info on where you're at and what you're doing. Now, this is really loud when you're spinning it up. However, once it's spun up, it's actually pretty silent, especially if there's fights going on around you or any auditory stuff going on around you. It's going to conceal this quite a bit. Now, if you're hiding your laser, you will catch people with their pants on the ground all the time if you learn to hide the laser. So, for instance, if I'm near cover, instead of aiming straight at these people or straight at where I'm going to think they're coming, I'm going to hide the laser on something close to me, so no one else sees a laser other than me. And then I snap on the target. Yes, it takes a split second, but it's worth it. Please get in the habit of hiding the laser and using your peripheral vision to line up your shots and know where the team is coming from. Even if you're out in the open, sometimes I will just hide it on the ground near me and then snap it. I'm telling you, this will make a world of a difference with Sheila. You will eventually start getting more kills with Sheila than your regular weaponry. I kid you not. Watch any of my gameplays. I guarantee you the ratio of Sheila kills versus regular kills, Sheila wins every time. So please hide that laser. That will totally change your life when it comes to Rampart. With her perks, I'm gonna be upfront and honest. This bandolier perk is ass. Never choose this. It's never worth it. I would much rather have 30 seconds shaved off of Sheila's ult, Sheila's cooldown. Like I said, Sheila is my bread and butter. I love Sheila. She is my favorite part of Rampart. So just choose this. I kid you not, just never choose bandolier. Now this one's a little bit tougher of a decision, but I still think it's a no-brainer. Ramped up, improved mobile Sheila handling, and spin up time by 20% is insane. Here, let's get that going. So check out my movement. I'm a little bit slow. I still can kind of run forward pretty quickly, but look at my strafing speed. Now let's level up the damage real quick. Now we're max level. So we're gonna do the improved handling time. So there is a slight difference. I can tell a difference. Maybe it's placebo, but I definitely notice a difference when I'm strafing back and forth, especially of the movement. And then look how quick look at that. That alone, the spin up time being reduced makes this worth it. So maybe it's a placebo and I'm like, oh, I feel faster or whatever. But the spin up time, there's no doubt about it. Check that out. That is worth it every single time. Now with this other perk, you get a ridiculously fast. It almost looks like you're hacking reload when you're behind an amped cover. But when the top half of this wall is blown out, you do not get that bonus. That's why I think it's more situational and not as good. So when in doubt, left it out. Do the left perk every single time with Rampart. You'll thank me later. Now, since we're on the subject kind of her walls, this is another part of her kit, which makes her super fun. Now look how fast those go up. Now they're only full health when they're fully extended like this. However, the top half has less health than the bottom half. Look at that. Look how many more shots. And that's with an LMG. Like, it seems really fast, but rarely does anyone ever shoot out this bottom part. They will waste their ammo and they'll waste their time trying to shoot out your walls, especially if they're double stacked. Don't be afraid to double stack walls because this part gets shot out all the time. And then this bottom half serves as a protection for your second wall, because then you can shoot from behind here with a surety, knowing that this bottom half will never get busted out, almost never. Now, that's why you need to get in the habit of crouching and shooting, because just because this is here right now doesn't mean that it will be here from now in like 2 seconds. So get in the habit of crouching as you shoot through Rampart's walls, because this will get blasted out and you'll be glad that you were already crouching when it does. Now, with this bottom half, when you're crouched behind it, people can still shoot you from the same elevation. Unfortunately, your head will still slightly poke out, and it's even exasperated when they have a higher elevation on you. So one way, at least when they're on the same elevation with you, one way you can avoid this is by looking straight down. Say you're literally 1 health and you just need to pop a cell and pray, or pop a bat and play. Look straight down. They will no longer be able to see the tippy top of your head from behind your wall. So only use this in desperate situations, because obviously you are getting no intel by looking straight down at the floor. With Apex and Game Sense, you always want to know what your enemy is doing or what your enemy might do, and the way you do that is by healing and crouching and kind of looking at them. But if you're super desperate, look straight down. They're not going to be able to shoot you, at least if they're on the same elevation as you. Now, with walls, just like with any other object in Apex World, you can mantle. You see this mantle right here? You can do super glides and super jumps off of here. Super cool. It's super fun. I have a whole guide that is still absolutely applicable, so I'm not going to put that in here. Go check out that guide. It will be in the description down below. Get used to figuring out how to use movement with these walls, because if you're going to be around them all the time, you might as well have some movement tech that throws people off kilter. So definitely check out that movement guide. It will not be a waste of your time if you guys need help super gliding and super jumping off of this right here. It all has to do with this little mantle, the timing, button presses, all of that. So go check that out. Now with walls, I forgot to say, with walls, people will see Rampart's walls and want to shoot out this part, the top part, and for good reason. It can be very annoying, especially if a Rampart gets multiple walls up at one time. They will blast these out. Use these as decoys with kind of like a mirage or something. Place this, and while they're distracted by that, reposition and shoot them while they're shooting out your wall. This is especially apparent if your teammates like to use your walls a lot. Take a different angle, and people are going to think that you're just a typical Rampart sitting behind your walls. Shoot them while they're shooting your walls. It's so easy to do so. You'll catch people off guard all the time. Now utilize Rampart's walls to climb up to different areas. It obviously gives you a little bit of height right here, and certain doors will get blasted out. Say these doors were blasted out, and the only way you could climb up to the roof, this is especially apparent on Storm Point, the only way you can climb up on the roof was through those doors. Well, who cares? You have Sheila, you have these walls, and then you climb up on the roof. Don't be afraid to use these walls to climb up to spaces that people don't expect Ramparts to be able to get up to, especially when doors are broken out. Now that we've kind of done an overview of Rampart's walls, as well as Sheila and kind of her perks and everything that you should keep in mind when it comes to Rampart, we're going to be going into more game sense tips. Tips about what you should be doing as the game progresses in each match. So Rampart obviously excels indoors. The reason being, look, I blocked a door. You have to kind of spam and it'll eventually open one of them, but you can block doors with her walls, and you should do so. Now, don't be afraid, especially if your team is like held up and there's multiple teams around you. Don't be afraid in ranked to double layer. Why wouldn't you? You might as well. And what's really cool when you double layer too is sometimes, and if you can't get it to happen every time, but if you do the right thing, if you do the right distance between these, sometimes it will kind of glitch people as they're, see that little bob? They get kind of stuck. If you spread these out in a really annoying fashion, people will kind of get their aim thrown off because of that little bob, and sometimes you will get glitched and you won't be able to touch the ground, and you'll kind of slide off to the side, if that makes sense. So don't be afraid to double up. Don't just sit on the door on your wall. Sometimes it's nice to kind of set up a little trap for people too. Have your teammates sit behind here, and if you get pushed, then they'll be able to beam them from a different position. Don't just put all of your eggs in one basket and stack up on a door. Stack up inside too. We call it a little safe area, or a cocoon. Oh, back to the cocoon. We'll usually place like a little safe area where if shit starts hitting the fan, we retreat to this little area right here. That's totally fine too. But use this as kind of a retreat area when your tail is between your legs. Don't use this as a default. You always want to be being aggressive with Rampart in spurts. That's the key. You should not play passive with Rampart. Make other teams push you, but as soon as you get the upper hand, you push them. With her walls specifically as well, these are really good decoys. However, when people see these, they're obviously going to know that you can blast down doors. Don't give away that you're Rampart 24/7. Maybe you want them to maybe hold a door like this, or have them hold a door on you and whip out Sheila. People do this all the time. I get so many knocks with people holding doors because for some reason they don't understand that Sheila can blast down a door. So don't give away your trump card instantly every time. This all comes with learning the game sense of playing Rampart. Some things you literally can't just automatically know when it comes to Rampart. It's all about the timing, the feeling, knowing the situation on when to place walls, when not to place walls too. And all right, that is a very quick and concise guide to Rampart. I hope you learned something. I kind of geared this towards people who are curious of playing Rampart. I know that she's become more meta than ever and she's being played in ALGS. So I guarantee you a lot of people are kind of curious and want to pick up Rampart, or maybe debating on picking up Rampart. So I tried to keep this a pretty general guide, pretty easily digestible and stuff. But if you guys want more specific guides, let me know where I go more in detail. There's so many tips with Rampart, so many subtleties that I could go into. So if you guys want more of that, please leave a like, pop a sub, let me know in the comment section down below. I hope this guide helped you out. I love you guys. I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope to see you in the Outlands.